We love you. All right, we'll just continue on to this update, recap on the Chris Watts in Wisconsin when they went and did the interview. There's some things in here that, don't make no sense to a lot of us. And, but the interview is somewhat casual. As Chris Watts enters the computer room where he was interviewed by the agents, the CBI agent Tammy and FBI agent Graham Coder and Frederick Police Dave. Of course, they ask him, do you remember us? Like, how long has it been? Not that long, but anyway. So, then Coder sets the ground rules about why the officers were there and assured Watts he wasn't still under investigation. Yes, they assure him he was not under investigation. Well, they can't do nothing for him, to him anymore. They wasn't there. Well, they were there. They were trying to get some more information on NK, or, where was she at this time, and probably they want a little bit more information on their relationship. And was she in the basement? Was NK in the basement of the morning of the murders? Well, you see, when they asked him questions, he does not answer. He starts stuttering like, he goes on like that. And then he goes on to the next. He does never answer all the questions. And he just takes them round in a circle. Well, the three officers have thought and spoken about him in the last months, since they first interviewed him in August about the murders. So they tell Watts they've been thinking about him. And, talking a lot about him because he is special. You see, he's a special case. They've never seen nobody like him come into their system before, and confessed so fast. Well, it's not like he confessed so fast. I mean, they already had the drones looking out on the land where he works, and where he said he was working that day. They already was investigating that. And when he got on that TV channel news that Monday, and apparently, it was to make a plea for his safe return of his wife and kids. But he really didn't do much of an appeal, right? Not really, if we think about it. Because really, he didn't want to do that. He did not want to do it, but he went ahead and did it. He could have went inside that house and closed that door. But he chose not to, which was a good thing for everybody. So they tell him that they've been thinking about him, and he's a very interesting case. And he said they thought his life leading up to the murders seemed really interesting, and they thought Watts was unique. Really. And Coder talks about one of the last things Watts said to him, which was an apology. Remember that? Watts said, and he apologized for lying about what happened. And they thought that was unique, because I guess they've never seen a prisoner being accused of murder and then turn around and apologize for lying about it. And that struck him. For the last couple of months. And so Coda told Watts, it's been ringing in my head. Yep, it's been ringing in my head. I've never, ever worked a case like this and had someone tell me that ever. As I walked away, I thought, Chris is different. Chris is a little different in that regard. So that's kind of how they start that off. And then the investigators, briefly talk about the differences between his inconsistencies, and the Colorado compared. Well, they were talking about, Colorado prison, I guess, compared to Wisconsin. And it's incarceration. That's what they're talking about. And Watts said his current living situation is a lot better than before because he's not isolated and he's allowed to interact with other inmates. How about that? So he's like a kid in a candy store. And he's feeling safe, too safe for comfort. Now, Watts is feeling safe where he is. He's not being hounded and yelled at and told what a loser he is. And he's fed up with their advice. The ones when he was in Colorado, he's fed up with the inmates' advice they were giving him to how to, end it all. He didn't like that. I wonder why. And now he feels much better because he's not getting all the abuse thrown at him. Because, they like him there. He's making friends. Oh, God. He's like a little kid, really, isn't he? In this, I don't know. What's happened to him? I wonder what's happened to him. Is his mind going or something? Well housed in Weld County Jail. Watts was in isolation, as we know. He was in isolation, and there was another inmate in his cell next to his, but he never saw that person. And the jail had to go into total lockdown just so Watts can walk down the hallway. Oh, I suppose. Yeah, and he got yelled at for that. Poor thing. And then, he's talking about he had to listen to people pounding on the walls at night, telling me things they wanted to do to me. And if I ever get the chance, to end it all. That's the kind of things they were talking about. And people here in Wisconsin, they don't seem, they don't judge. They don't judge. People here don't judge. Hey, that's a joke, right? They don't judge. Well, he's probably with some people that have committed the same kind of acts. But he better not talk too soon because people do judge. And people don't like certain things that happen to children, especially. And then, the investigators carry on, and they also spoke to Watts some of his alleged his affairs. And he talks about the affairs, the homosexual relationship with a Wyoming resident, Trent. You know who that is. And Coder and Lee told them that, you met him on a dating app and had a handful of sexual encounters in his apartment and with some of Bolt's friends and in 2 remote parking lots. So they couldn't wait to tell him this. Do you know what I mean? So that gets him thinking, what the hell? Do you know what I mean? And they describe Bolt as meek, but also a bit flamboyant. And they comment on, his lip injections and how he had skincare products and made up with him during his interview with the investigators. Because they said, you brought Bolt some skin products as gifts. And then Watts says, I've never been to Wyoming. So he tells him he's never been to Wyoming. Not let alone, met up with this guy, Watts said. That's what he's saying. So he's denying ever knowing him, ever meeting up with him. And adding, he only knew who Bolt was when his attorney showed him a picture after his story appeared in the media. So that's how Watts got to know who Bolt was. And then they speak about the second reported affair with a woman named Amanda. She also told investigators she had a one-time sexual encounter. Oh, this comes the parking lot again. She had a one-time encounter with Watts in the parking lot of a Chick-fil-A. How about that? There's a lot going on in these parking lots, guys. You better keep your eyes open. Look out for any jerky movements and the windows fogging up. But also Watts says that never happened. That never happened either. Confirming that the only affair he had was with NK. So now he didn't have a problem stuttering or going like He answered those questions normally, normal. So he answered those questions. And they wanted to know how you and Shanann drifted apart. Looking back on the affair, Watts told investigators he wished he was working in the field more and when he met NK. So now it's all happened and over. Now he wishes that he didn't change his job, which meant he worked in the office a lot more. And there was a lot of meetings going on, and he'd been promoted. And so now he kind of puts the blame on her a little bit because it's all her fault now. If only she didn't come up and talk to him. If only she didn't pay attention to him. If only you never showed the pictures of your happily ever after family, the kids and him. And then, you're the one talking to her and telling her all about your life, where you moved from North Carolina to Colorado. You two were having a good old conversation about your life in the past. Yeah, okay then. So it's her fault now. If only they had never met. This may never have happened. Oh yeah, that's in his little pea brain. But of course, before he met her, well, on these dates that they said they both met and started talking, they'd already thinking about separation. At one time, he told his mother it was 6 months before this. It was about 6 months ago. So 6 months before that he told his mother he was getting separated. And this was before Shanann was pregnant. And, and then suddenly she was pregnant. And that's why Cindy couldn't make out, well, I thought you were getting divorced. I thought you were getting separated. Now you've got a baby? So he says this, but it's not true, is it? Because it wasn't her fault at that time. He can't blame it on her. well, it seems like he is blaming it on her. And he also says, they met in the early June at the office. And shortly after, Watts had been promoted to the field coordinator from Rover. And the promotion meant he would spend more time in the office. That's how he ended up working in the office more. And they bumped into each other quite frequently. But the thing here is, see, NK had already got her eye on him. She was kind of getting his attention and flirting with him. Because she kind of said so. And so anyway, one day, see, Nicole texted Watts while he was out in the field. And that's when they continued. In the upcoming days, she texted him. Now, what did she text him? What did NK text Chris Watts? I don't know. I can't remember what she texted him. Watts described his initial interactions with NK as a workplace flirting. He was flirting. So they were both flirting until the text messages went to a different level. Yes, guys. As soon as Chris told her he was married and had children, it went to the next level. Yep. So she didn't care if he was married because it went to the next level. And NK carried texting him. She carried on texting him. They made lots of plans to see each other after he returned from a trip from San Diego. What that took place on June the 22nd to the 26th. So they went for a few days in San Diego. And they first met at a park in Thornton. They continued to see each other the entire month of July. Well, the wife and kids were in North Carolina. Watts slept at NK's apartment nearly every night. Nearly every night. He describes their relationship as equal partnership. An equal partnership. My God, they've only been seeing each other for a few weeks now, or a week or two. And it's equal partnership. That cracks me up. Equal partnership. What the hell? And which was opposite to how he talked about his marriage. He described his wife as dominant personality who made most, if not all, the family decisions, which was fine with him. That's what he says, which was fine with him. As he was more of a laid-back man. What does that mean? Just because you're laid back, it doesn't mean you can't make decisions, right? But anyway, that's how he describes that relationship. And it was also refreshing change of pace to be with somebody who was interested in my opinion. Oh yeah. So he could talk to her because she would sit there and listen to him. Yeah, listen to him whine about his poor life, I guess. Well, she listened because she has to make sure she gets to know you well. Because she wants to know what next move to make. You fool. But anyway, she'd listen to his opinion. She's got a good ear. He talks about he took NK to the cinema for the first official date. Yes, the first official date was at a movie. But funny enough, do you know what I mean? I don't know who made this decision. But funny enough, his first date with Shannon was at the movies too, at the cinema. Yes, guys. So, he takes her. So, it's getting to be, he's getting involved in the same kind of relationship. And he's doing the same kind of things, what he knows best. So, because he went to the movies on his first date with Shannon, he's going to take NK on his first date. But that wasn't to be, was it? No, it wasn't to be. Because first of all, you should check into stuff first. You can't just show up to the movies because sometimes they are sold out. Yes, guys, they are sold out. So, and he was so surprised that NK let him pick the movie. Oh yeah, she let him pick the movie, and he was quite surprised about that. Oh God, he's such a dork. But when they arrived, it was sold out. See what I mean, guys? Sold out. And this is probably why, Chris, you can't make decisions for yourself, because if you checked into this movie first, how popular it was, you would have seen it was sold out at this particular movie house. But anyway, he said NK was easygoing about it, and he told the investigator, saying she preferred to take a walk and talk anyway. All right, so that was nice of her. She said, let's just go and take a walk and talk while we walk. It's surprising that he could do that, Anyway, she learned that he was a former mechanic before joining Anacardo. And then Nicole suggested the next date. So here comes Kissinger the next day to be at Shelby American Collection Museum in Boulder, Colorado. So, see, she's been listening to him. She's been listening to his interests. And so they go to this museum. And the next, they went to Vandermeer Speedway in Morrison for drag racing. Now, that's okay, because I'd like to go to drag racing. I've been to many tracks to the races. I love racing myself. And my brother he raced bikes, and he was into that too. And we'd go camping out. May he rest in peace, the poor bugger. He passed away. But anyway, and he's never been racing. That was the first time he'd been to the track since meeting Shannon. So that's a shame, because, he stopped doing the stuff he liked to do, which guys normally don't do that, do they? They usually just find some guys that are interested in racing, and then they just go once in a while, a guy's day out. But anyway, so that was his first time that he'd been to the drag racing since he met Shannon. And then later on, you see, she's still listening to him. And later on, KN took him camping to the Great Sand Dunes National Park. It was his first time camping. Man, this man has lived it, hasn't he? He has lived it. But you know what? I don't think he had too many friends that were into this. He's never been fishing. He's never been hunting. He's never been camping. He hasn't been racing for a lot of years. He hasn't done much. Then, the investigators you know, his first wife was at the movies. But you know what? The movies that him and Shanann went to on their first date was more upscale, more established, featuring cocktails and kitchen food. And Shanann showed up in a dress. And he showed up with what he described as being comfortable. And then Shanann took one look at him and said, he's not my type. He wasn't her type. Because she dressed up to the nines to go to a movie. Oh my God. Who does that? She does that. But of course, he never got dressed up. But anyway, that couldn't have bothered her that much because, you know, they ended up marrying each other. Because Watts pursued Shanann, nevertheless. Anyway, with NK, however, he felt like he was the one being pursued, which was another first he enjoyed. So no woman has chased him before. And now NK was chasing him down. Yeah, that's how he describes that. So it's all her fault. She's the one chasing him, which he rather enjoyed. But then Watts got caught up in his new love, his feelings. But said he thought at the time what he and NK were experiencing was true love. He has never felt this way before about anyone, and he thought it was true love. So what's that saying? True love. He also told the investigators he knew somewhere in the back of his mind what he was doing was wrong, but that he had blinders on. Yes, guys, he had the blinders on. You know, he's coming out with all these big words, isn't he? True love, blinders, and what he was doing was wrong. There's some big words there for his pea brain. Now, he didn't even have to look those words up on Google. Anyway, he said, everybody said, you're not just out there having fun while your wife and kids are on vacation. Watts said, no, it wasn't like that. But that's what it looked like when you're going camping, when you're going to drag races, and you're doing all this stuff that you have fun doing, but you're with someone who isn't your family. It doesn't seem right. What? Oh my God. He just said he's in love with her and it's true love. Yeah. So he had the blinders on, okay? And and you know, when he thinks that this doesn't seem right, my God, he already said he was getting divorced and separated. He said that a long time ago before she came in the picture. He's told that to his mother. And also Shanann said that in North Carolina, that she said to people that she's going to get separated. So, I don't know. We never heard that again, did we? But it didn't go to trial, so we didn't hear everything. So, we only get to see what they release. But it was on a new TV news in North Carolina that Shanann was at the hair salon where her mother works. And she did say, Shanann said that they were going to get divorced. And she did say that, but I don't know in what context she said that. Was she mad at the time? What did she say exactly? I'm getting divorced when I get back. That's it. He's out of the house. What did she say exactly, And were those exact words? Was she thinking about it? Well, obviously they said that's what she was going to do. And when you know something's not right in your marriage, something's not right, it really isn't right. But you got to listen to your gut instinct. Or if you refuse to listen to it, you're just going to carry on the way it is and nothing's going to get solved. What's also said when he's with NK, it was like I couldn't see that anymore. I didn't sleep at home, and the whole month of July, in July. So I didn't have all those things to remind me that I was a husband and a father. And it was like a roller coaster ride. I kept punching the ticket on. I couldn't get off. Punching the ticket up. I couldn't get off. Yeah, right. Yeah, you did know you were married, because your wife kept on calling you and texting you and you're FaceTiming your kids, and she wouldn't stop calling you day and night. So, you were reminded then. And you had to go back and to the house. For whatever reason, you had to go back there. You had to get clothes, change your clothes, or what, feed the dog. I guess the dog was with him. I'm not sure what happened to the dog. Where was the dog all the time? I think he took Dexter to the apartment with her. He must have. He couldn't have left the dog at the house all the time. Not for all those hours of the day. You can't. He'd be barking, wouldn't he? Yeah, he'd be barking. When Shanann returned home, about 2 a.m., Monday, August the 13th, Watts felt her get into bed, and the couple made love for the last time. But something felt different. This is what he's saying. This is what he's saying. He said the last intimate moment with his wife felt like a test. Felt like a test. Listen here, he's supposed to be getting divorced, moving out, don't love his wife anymore. And he thought he'd have sex with her to test the waters, to see if he got any feelings for her anymore. Yeah, he's a liar. I bet she was the one that didn't want to have sex with you. Yeah. Seems that the state she was in, tired and everything, maybe that would be the last thing she wanted. Watts was on his date with NK. He paid for dinner, we know that, with his card, and that was linked to the family account. So, and then she finds out he went out to dinner. Blah, blah, blah. Well, that's okay. You can go out to dinner and spend some money, for God's sake. And then, we know about Watts woke up that morning with the feeling that he was going to come home from work and either Shanann and the kids wouldn't be there or he wouldn't be allowed in the door. Now, he's crazy. Oh. Damn, didn't you just tell her that you didn't want her anymore and you want a separation and this relationship isn't working out anymore and we should go our separate ways, get a separation? So what do you expect she's going to do? Lock you out the house? Yeah, that's right. That'd be the first thing that you do, right? You say, get out, right? You would say, get out. Well, that's the second part of the recap. The case that keeps on giving. Let's have a discussion about this and your thoughts and what you've heard in some other details. Let's have a little discussion, and thank you for stopping by.